It is 11:45 and it is time for some analysis on the tropics. And of course, we begin with Hurricane Florence, which even though there are 4 systems here for us to monitor, 3 of which including hurricane strength right now, Florence is by far the biggest and the strongest of the 3 and is also the one that will impact land the closest as well. Now, as of the 11 a.m. advisory from the National Hurricane Center, forecasters with the NHC said there's an area of max sustained winds around the center of circulation right now of 115 miles an hour with wind gusts around the center gusting up to around 140 miles an hour. So here's the latest forecast cone from the National Hurricane Center. And if you've been paying attention to Florence, you'll notice there are some subtle changes taking shape inside this forecast cone as it now bends more and more toward the south and has the center of circulation lingering off the shorelines of both North and South Carolina. What this latest update means is that areas of South Carolina are now more inside the cone as we get toward the end of this weekend as the system continues to sit and swirl. Bottom of the hour, time for an update on the analysis of Hurricane Florence as it continues to impact both North and South Carolina. Notice as of the most recent advisory from the National Hurricane Center, we still have an area of sustained winds of 80 miles an hour around the center of circulation with wind gusts up to 100 miles an hour. The most important stat, though, of that entire box is the movement. Right now, only going to the west at 6 miles an hour. That is exceptionally slow, especially for an area that has already been very hard hit. Storm surge is always given in a reasonable worst case scenario, but it's also presented in terms of being from ground level. So imagine on the floor of your living room, if a 3 feet storm surge is forecast in terms of a reasonable expectation, that's 3 feet off the ground, again, from the ground up. 5 feet of storm surge means that in many cases for a full grown adult, we're up to about chest level, and 7 foot of storm surge, well, now in that case, we're several inches even above my head. When it comes to the most reasonable worst case scenario with Hurricane Florence, the most recent advisory from the National Hurricane Center, if this is the center of Florence, right now hurricane force winds sustained above 74 miles an hour right now stretch out 90 miles from the center of circulation. But look at this. Tropical storm force winds, they go out right now 195 miles away from the center. That means you could live 195 miles away from wherever the eye of Hurricane Florence eventually makes landfall. All right, so daylight saving time gets underway in just a few hours, and that means there's major changes to when the sun comes up and when the sun comes down here in Southwest Florida. You notice that especially during the mornings because it's a lot darker for a longer part of the morning. For instance, the Saturday mornings, this morning's sunrise here in Fort Myers was at 6:43 in the morning. Tomorrow, though, because of the time change, the sun does not come up until 7:42. So if you're an early riser, you'll notice it's going to be darker for a longer part of the morning. Now, of course, on the flip side of the coin, sunset times, they also change. Today's sunset was at 6:33, but tomorrow night, the sun doesn't go down now until 7:34. So essentially think of this as getting an extra hour of sunshine on the back end of the day. So that'll hopefully make up for the extra hour of sleep that we all lose here overnight tonight. And as the son of a firefighter, it is my obligation to remind you that this is a great time of year to remember to change the batteries in your smoke detector. Firefighters always like to make sure you also check your carbon monoxide monitors at this time of year as well. All right, in the world of weather tonight, it's pretty mild outdoors and there is a bit of humidity in place. And with that in mind, you will notice early tomorrow morning that there will be some areas of patchy fog. Now notice this is 7:30 in the morning, and because of the time change, it will still be dark here at this point in the day. So if you're an early morning riser or out for a long run in the morning or a good long bike ride early in the day, there will be a few areas of reduced visibility, most especially for areas east of US 41 through Charlotte, Lee, and Collier County. It's not going to be widespread fog in the morning, but those are the neighborhoods with the best opportunity for some patchy fog during the first half of the day. Notice it's not going to take very long for this fog to mix out of the atmosphere. By 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning, the fog should be gone. And then the big story weather-wise, this is how hot it's going to be during the afternoon. So if you're going to yoga at the Calusa Nature Center, it's going to be almost like hot yoga because the outdoor event at the Pine Pavilion, you will have temperatures to contest with there in the low 80s. And if yoga is not your thing, you want to check out some cars, consider going to the shops at Vanderbilt. They're having their West Coast car and truck show. It goes between 10 and 4. You've got lots of sunshine, with high temperatures there topping out in the middle 80s. So a bit of a scorcher there during the afternoon. High temperatures tomorrow on the order of 5 to 6 degrees above the average for early March. That means 86 degrees in Fort Myers, 84 in Naples and Marco Island, and how about 86 degrees between Punta Gorda and Port Charlotte. Now, much like today, after lunchtime tomorrow, there will be a bit in the way of cloud cover and maybe 1 or 2 isolated showers as the sea breeze works in. But as a whole on Sunday, rain opportunities are pretty spotty. So just enjoy a nice little early taste of summer, if you will, as high temperatures stay way above the average for this time of year. Big picture here, we are still in a weather pattern where all the cool air stays well to the north of us. That little cold front you see there off the coast of Jacksonville as we get toward early tomorrow, well, that may be able to bring us a very, very modest drop in temperatures and humidity as we get toward Tuesday and Wednesday. But we're still talking about above average temperatures for the duration of the 7-day forecast. 87 on Tuesday and then only 84 degrees on Wednesday. But again, that is still above average for this time of year. If you're looking for some cooler weather, it appears that as we get towards St. Patrick's Day, which, believe it or not, is now on the 10-day forecast, there is a front coming in our direction, and if things hold together, it could bring us a few showers for the holiday as well. So something to keep in mind with over the next couple of days. Back to you.